and welcome back to today's video. Today we are doing a Shop My Stash. I feel like I've learned something about myself here. I feel like I either at the end of the 2 weeks am really sad to see everything go if like I really enjoyed everything so much. But I feel like most of the time I'm like the weeks are just, the days are going by so slowly and I'm like ready for this to be over with. And that is how this is. Again, like I'm going to preface this by saying I did enjoy a lot of these products. It's just, this is why I have to switch stuff out. Because I've considered doing this once a month and I'm like, no, I can barely last 2 weeks. Like, we need to switch shit out. We've got to, I cannot do this for that long. Okay, so if you are new here, Shop My Stash, I'm going to go through the products that I've been using for the last 2 weeks, give you my thoughts on them, so it's kind of like a mini speed reviews. And then I will also be taking you along with me in my stash to pick things out for the next round. Now this time is going to be interesting because I have a lot of things going on right now and this room is a mess because of the things going on, right? So I have like piles of makeup from different things that I'm still kind of debating, like this pile over here I'm gonna film a speed reviews with, so it has to stay there. There's a pile of new makeup over there that doesn't fit in the new makeup drawer. There's a pile of makeup here from my TikTok viral stuff that I just took a picture for. And do I want to do a speed review on that, or do I want to incorporate that into Shop My Stash, or do I just want to put it away and use it later? I don't know. So we're gonna pull some stuff from those piles as well as the regular drawers. I kind of have a thing I'm gonna do. But for now, we're going to jump into this. Everything will be linked down below as much as I can. I sometimes don't have character spaces, but for the most part, it will be linked down below. And then I will have a timestamp down below for picking out new makeup if that is what you're interested in, because this part normally takes the longest. All right, let's roll. I'm going to start with face products this time because I switched back to my old in drawer organizer because I can't make up my fucking mind. But now it's laid out in a bit of an easier way. So we're gonna start with face makeup. For primer, I was using the Smashbox Photo Finish Vitamin Glow Primer. I actually liked this. I don't know if I'd say that like it made my skin look glowier, but I actually really liked the base that this put down. And I don't know what I was expecting. I feel like I was expecting more of the traditional Photo Finish primer, which I do like that one, but this was almost like a creamier, more like moisturizer type primer. So this was actually quite pleasant, and I've had this for a while and never used it, and I'm really happy that I finally did because I enjoyed it a lot. I'm using the Uoma Say What Weightless Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. This is currently an object in my Panning Punk project pan. This is the royalty one because the shade is Fair Lady. So this one will be going into the next round. I won't be picking out a new foundation today because the Panning Punk project, I'm using this from the last update to the next update. If I finish this, or if I hit the next, because I think, now I'm trying to remember, I think the next Panning Punk update is like the 6th. If that is the case, from the trying out new viral TikTok, I tried out the KVD Good Apple Foundation Balm. I'm going to switch to that. So just a little heads up for you because I love this foundation, but once my project panning, I really want to use the Good Apple one a little bit more and kind of gather my thoughts on that. So I might end up switching this one out. I can't remember the exact date, but this is an amazing foundation. It was in my favorites where I talked about it in depth, so I'll link that up above. It's a good one. I also had pulled out, since I was using that foundation, I pulled out the Uoma Stay Woke Concealer in Fair Lady. A couple of things of note. First of all, I ended up taking the stopper out this week. I mean, like, I'm gonna keep this around. I'm not gonna toss it yet because there's still product inside, but I did take the stopper out. I love the foundation. I can leave or take the concealer. It's okay. It's very thick though. It's very thick. And it's like, to me, it's the opposite of what the foundation is. The foundation is very lightweight. It is like buildable coverage, but it feels really nice on the skin. And this is just really thick. I'm getting to the end. So obviously I've had it for a while and I'm getting to the end. So it is a little bit more difficult to blend out at this point. But if I had to pick one, like the foundation all day, every day, the concealer is fine. I'm not going to rush out and repurchase it though because I feel like there are better ones. I'll give you an update on my cream blush really quick while we're here because I very rarely used this. This is what it's looking like now. I'm trying to finish this off, so this will also go into the next round. But I had different cream blush this week that I'll talk about in a second. For cream contour, I had the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer in Amber. This is a little orange based. I do like this one, but this shade, and I don't know about the shade range of these, so I don't know if there is one that is a little bit like more warm toned. But this one, or would it be cool toned? My mind just went completely blank. I don't know if there's anything that would be less orange toned. Okay, what is orange toned? Oh my god. I do like this one, and I will continue to use it. I've made like a nice little dip in there. That's wonderful. But I do think that I prefer like the Huda Beauty Tantour, and I do prefer some of the other like sticks and things like that over this, because this is just a little orange. So I like it, but I do think there are better ones out there, unless this is kind of what you're going for, if this would work well for your skin tone. Cool. For me, I prefer a little bit more of like the gray based ones. Yes. I pulled out the Patrick Ta Major Headlines blush palette. This has cream blushes and powder blushes. I had talked about this in my favorites, and I loved this. And here's the thing. So you can't get this palette anymore. I'm so sorry. But you can get the blushes, like the cream and the powder blushes, in like individual formats, right? So you buy one compact and it has the cream and then the matching powder. Love that. And there are 3 shades in here. She's a Doll, She's Vibrant, and She's Baked. And I feel like, I know that they've got other shades that I've seen that I've really been into, and I feel like I'm probably going to end up picking out some more of them. But I like this so much. And I didn't, when I pulled it out, I was like, oh, I bought this on a whim and I'm going to go ahead and try this because I haven't used it yet. And when I sat down to use it, I was like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know if this is going to be good blush shades for me. And they go on so heavy. But the wonderful thing about this formula is that you can blend it out. Like, I'm wearing the middle shades today, and I am wearing all of this makeup today. If you're curious about what it looks like on skin, I am wearing this blush today. And you guys know that I love the cream and powder, like cream and then powder on top of it to really help lock everything in. It's my freaking favorite. Anyways, yes, I really want to try out more of the shades in this, and I have really been liking the select Patrick Ta things that I've tried lately, primarily this. So I'm going to be doing a video. It's going to be kind of like trying on like aesthetic brands, but it's like 3 makeup brands and one of them is Patrick Ta. So we're going to try out some more Patrick Ta stuff in April that is coming up. Okay, for highlight, I had originally brought in this. This is the Tarte Tartiest Pro Glow Liquid Highlight in Stunner. Here's the thing. This is incredibly old. Okay, this is like, you should not have a liquid product this long old. It is so pretty. And I don't remember, like, I've used a good amount of this. Like, you can see in the tube. Like, for this being a liquid highlight, I'm pretty proud of myself. It's stunning. But when you blend it, at this point, it doesn't blend all the way. And it kind of gets patchy over other makeup. It's blending out beautifully on my hand, because of course it is. Oh no, see right there. It gets kind of patchy. Right? And it just, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but it gets kind of patchy and it just kind of looks off a little bit. It doesn't blend in seamlessly. And I want a cream highlight that blends in seamlessly. And I have so many cream highlights, like I'm not going to hold on to this. Now, I don't remember though if I've ever had that problem with this before. I don't remember. I can't imagine I would have kept it. But I can't remember the last time I've used this. But this one, I am going to go ahead and toss now. I don't think it's worth holding on to try to rectify it. I mean, it's just old, okay? So that one I am going to toss. But I used that for like the first week, and then I was like, this really I like my makeup up until I put this on. So I was like, I'm just going to grab a different cream highlight. So I just pulled in the RMS Beauty Living Luminizer. I've talked about this before. It's stunning. It's a much different type of glow than that. This is more minimal, more of like the kind of sheer glow from within glossy glow. But I do like this, and it's still going good. I used the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder under my eyes. This is one of my favorite loose setting powders. It is a cult classic. It is a staple product, and I love this powder. So I highly do recommend this if you're looking for just a good basic under eye setting powder, or like I don't personally like to use loose powders all over my face. I like to do it under my eyes and in my T-zone, and then I go in with a pressed powder for the rest of my face. I'm picky like that. But I really do like this for under the eyes and my T-zone. My pressed powder for this round was the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Airbrush Perfecting Powder in Fair. This is, I feel like, almost a little too yellow for my skin tone. But, I mean, I've used a good amount of it up. These are some of my favorite powders. Maybe it was just like with the foundation shade. I don't know. I feel like I just look a little yellow. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was like, because I've used this before and I haven't had the issue, so I have to assume it's something to do with like this mixed with the foundation. But I love this powder. This is one of my favorite pressed powders that you can get. I have several of them, and it's so good. For powder, like bronzer contour, I was using the Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in Sunkissed. This has like a little bit of hard pan on it, but it actually didn't seem to affect picking up product on my brush. And I liked this because this is so light. Like this is such a nice kind of gray based bronzer. I don't know if it's supposed to be, but that's how it looks on my skin, so I'm going with it. But it was really nice in not being like overpowering. And I honestly think that because this was a little too orange and because this is so light, they worked really well together. And I actually really liked my contour, but I used both of these as contour. This was my cream, this was my powder. But I really liked how they looked together. So it was an interesting combination, but it worked really well this past 2 weeks. And then for highlight, I had the Flesh, I don't remember what this is called, it's linked down below, but this is the Jump shade. It's nice. It's not, it's definitely more of like a minimal highlight. It's not super flashy. I mean, and the funny thing is though, is I can see the highlight like reflected on my skin. I got so into the Kaleidos highlights, which are like I can see you from space glow, that this is now what I consider minimal. It's very pretty. I went really hard on this though, because I did like, this is it kind of built up. So it can give you the minimal glow if you don't build it up. It can give you a nicer glow. I want a little bit more glow. You know what I mean? I do like it though. I have a couple of these in different shades. This is a nice shade. I literally went through and pulled in all of my mini mascaras. So I had like 3 full sizes opened, and then I pulled in all of my mini ones. So these are my mascaras. I'm not gonna go through all of them because we'd be here all day, but I finally, you guys know I have been wanting to switch back to a CoverGirl mascara forever now, and I finally did. This is the Lash Blast Clean. Not as good as the orange tube, but it's still good. For brows, I had pulled in the Huda Beauty BombBrows, so the full and fluffy brow like tinted gel, and then the brow pencil. The brow pencil I had pulled in a different shade because I had 2 of them in different shades from the holidays. I had pulled in a different shade, and then I finished that off. So then I pulled in the light brown, and I finished that off literally today. There's not a lot of product in these. Like literally there's very little product in these. And I feel like everybody always gives the ABH Brow Wiz a lot of slack. I would buy the ABH Brow Wiz, which I love, but I'd definitely buy that before I bought this again. Because I went through 2 of these in record time. I got these in like October, November of last year. I'm quick to use up products, but I'm not that quick. It's an empty, but I don't think I'd buy it again. Like it's a good brow pencil. There's just not enough product in it. This, the BombBrows Full and Fluffy, is interesting. And I feel like when you're using a product like this, when you go kind of up, it has to hit the base of the brows really smoothly so it doesn't make these like jagged little lines. And I feel like this one does make those jagged little lines. I'm gonna hang on to it for a little bit longer, like I'm not getting rid of it, but that is something that I dislike about it. I feel like there are ones out there that kind of hit the base of your brow a little bit easier and make it seem a little bit more seamless and smooth. And this, just the type of brush that it is, just doesn't do that. And this is also like a shade light for me. But I mean, it's an okay product. I'm still not 100% sure. I want to try it. I've only used this with the Huda Beauty brow pencil. I want to try it with different brow pencils because I have to fill in. I have like a chunk of brow missing over here, so I have to fill them in, but I can't use it on its own, and I want to try it with a different brow pencil and see if maybe that changes things. For eyeliners, I had the Fenty Beauty Flyliner in Cause I'm Black. I like this one. It is a little bit of like a thicker tip that I'm used to, but this is a nice eyeliner. And then I also had the Marc Jacobs Highliner Matte Gel Eye Crayon in Blacquer Emerald. This is so funny to me because this looks green when you swatch it, but when you put it under your eyes, it's so dark that it does look like an emerald based black. And it's beautiful. This is the one that I'm wearing today. It's beautiful. But I do like that one. And then, okay, for liquid liner, I had brought in the Suva Beauty Hydra Liner in Grease. I've used this a lot before, and I've never been sure about how I feel about it, but I have like 2 of these, and then like a couple palettes from Suva Beauty with like hydroliners in them, with cake liners. Well, these are hydroliners. And then I have a Morphe palette that has cake liners in it, okay? I'm still playing around with the Morphe palette, but my issue with these is that you have to get them wet in order to activate them. They're water activated. And the cake liners are kind of the same thing, but I'm still, I don't know. And I see people use these types of liners all the time, and they look beautiful, and they get this nice sharp wing. Here's my issue. My eyes water like crazy, and so I feel like every time I put it on, it always ends up getting smudged because my eyes water, and I can't get that straight line because the water activates it, so no matter what, it's getting smudged. And it literally got to the point during this round where I was like, I'm so tired of just my eyeliner look like shit every day. So I brought in the Galactic Precise Eyeliner Marker, which worked fine. But I'm really torn about these. So I don't know if I'm going to pass them along yet or if I'm going to keep trying to make them work. I really just think that my eyes water too much to use something like this. But I'm wondering if maybe I activated it with like a setting spray or something, if that would work. And I did not try that over this past week. So I think I'm going to play around with these for a little bit longer, but these are on the chopping block, man, because they're getting real frustrating to work with. And then for eye primer, I had the Pretty Vulgar eyeshadow primer. This is good. Like, I liked this quite a bit actually. And I know that I've used it before and I just never really stuck out in my head, but this was actually pretty nice. I remember when this brand was like pretty big, and I feel like they've totally kind of gone off the map now. But this is like a nice little hidden gem. For eyeshadow, I'm so torn about this. I had pulled in 6 ColourPop eyeshadow quads. I am using, which one? This one, the Silver Spoon one today. I literally did a very simple eye look today. So my concern with these when I first spoke about them was that I'm not normally a quad person because I like having the different choices that a palette presents, and quads just get boring to me. They get very boring. And so I had picked these up, and then I picked up some of the 5-pan ones to try out. I feel like 5-pan ones I tend to work a little bit more well with, if that makes sense. Okay, so I used each of these at least one time, bare minimum once. I think there were like, I used half of them more than once. The quality is fine. They're ColourPop, stand-up quality, they're nice. But I got bored, and I ended up bringing in some ColourPop shadow sticks. So if you watch my TikTok, I've done a few looks with the shadow sticks as well, and then I'll talk more about the shadow sticks in like a speed reviews or something. But my issue was kind of like, my fear was brought to life because I did get bored of these really quickly, and they're really pretty. Like, this is the Sorbet quad. It's really pretty. So here's what I think I'm going to do though. I really want to see how I interact with these in my regular routine. So I'm going to keep these for now. And because I do have some quads, like I have a couple Charlotte Tilbury quads. I can't think of anything else right now because I know I don't have very many, but I do have some quads. And so I really want to take these into my collection and kind of go through my normal routine, and eventually I'm going to bring a couple into a Shop My Stash, and we'll see if I can combine this with a different palette like I normally do with Shop My Stash, where I have 2 like bigger palettes. Do I enjoy them then? Because that's going to be the real question, because that is usually how I do my makeup. So I'm going to hang on to these for now. I don't know if like during my next eyeshadow palette declutter will they survive it, who knows. But we're going to give it a fair shot. I did enjoy using them. I just need something else too. So we'll see. And then last but not least, the BH Paradise Set Mattifying Setting Spray. I picked this up at TJ Maxx recently. This is, I don't know what this is, but all of the writing is fading from the packaging. And like that happens sometimes, but normally with like older packaging. I literally bought this in the month of March. Why is it fading? This is a nice setting spray. It smells great. It just smells good. I don't know how to describe it. It just smells really good. It doesn't smell like coconutty. It's almost like a fruity florally scent, but I can't pinpoint what it is. It smells nice though. I do like this as a setting spray, but I don't understand why the packaging is like just smearing off. Like if I touch it, the writing just smears, and that oh my God. Now I've got ink on my fingers. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand why it does that. So it's a fine setting spray though. It makes me a little nervous. If that's what the outside looks like, what is on the inside? This is why packaging is important, people. Okay, so that is what I've been using for the last couple of weeks. Now let's go through and select some new makeup. I have a couple of piles, like I said. I'm going to pull out a couple of things from the piles really quick, and then we'll go through the drawers, but there are a couple things that I want to grab. We'll talk about those really quick, and then we'll move on to the drawers. Okay, non-drawer products. I picked out a couple that I want to try out. First of all, I tried these out over on TikTok. The Tatcha Silk Canvas and the Liquid Silk Canvas. Something has spilled all over this, and I don't know what, and I don't know where it came from. But we're just rolling with it because this is like $55 and I'm not, that's just, it's life now. But I picked up both of these during, I think, oh my God, I think Black Friday, and I'm finally trying them now. And I liked both of them, but I only tried them once and it was on half and half, right? So I really want to play around with these. So I'm going to bring both of these into this next round to kind of try, you know, because then I'll have like a week with each of them. And I know that I like this foundation, so it'll really be able to tell me how I feel about these. Okay, I'm excited about that. I also, so I redid, this is so dumb, I'm so frustrated. I redid my pressed powder drawer because for whatever reason, when I switched, when I brought in the skincare drawer set, I had switched the drawers, like, so the face stuff is over here now. You guys know that was a while ago. But for whatever reason, the face stuff fit fine in that drawer set, but in this drawer set over here, it gets stuck underneath like the hinge of the top drawer. And I don't know why, because they're the exact same drawer set, but it does. And so because of that, the back like 3 rows, I cannot access whatsoever. And the powders are too tall to fit back there and like, so I can just reach them out. So I took out the last 3 rows and I'm just going to work on using those powders. So I'm pulling in like a bunch of powders that like are either really, really close to pan or that I've already hit pan on. And I'm just going to try to work through some of those in order to like clear out this space in that drawer, if that makes sense. So I'm going to bring in this one. This is one of the ones that I've hit pan in. This is the CoverGirl Clean Normal Skin Pressed Powder in Classic Ivory. Plus, I have a bunch of powders like that have really big pan that are just sitting in there. So we're just going to try to use, last year was the year of foundations and we just used up a shit ton of foundations. And this year I'm deeming the year of pressed powders and we're just going to try to use up a shit ton of pressed powders. But I'm going to go ahead and focus on this one for the next 2 weeks. This is also part of that. This is the one that I was using for the last round. And obviously it's got like a big pan in it. But I'm going to kind of set this off to the side and come back to it because pressed powder, y'all. I got it. If I don't switch products, I'm going to get bored. But I'm going to focus on this one for the next 2 weeks. And then also a couple more, just a couple more things. One of the palettes I'm going to use is going to be the Urban Decay Wild Greens because I use this in the Hyped Up makeup. This was not like good hyped up, but I've done one look with it and thus far I've liked it. So I want to play around with this a little bit more. And kind of gather my thoughts on it because this is like, I was excited about this when I saw it. I know a lot of people weren't. I was really excited about it. So I really want to gather my thoughts about this. So this is going to be one of 2 eyeshadow palettes we use. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull in the mascara too because I tried out the mascara in that video. So I already have 8,000 mascaras open. Why not? And then finally, cream blush, also from that video. This is the last thing from that video too, I swear. The KVD ModCon Liquid Gel Blush in Glowlita. This was so good. I was so impressed by this. I'll link the video up here if you have not seen it yet, but I was so impressed with this. And I have the ModCon like gel contour. So I'm going to use both of those this week because I really want to see how they like play together. So I'm going to pull this in from that video and then we'll grab the contour from the drawer. Okay, but that's it. So now let's go to the drawers. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is pick out a face palette. I'm going to focus on the middle shelf here this time. There's like a lot of contour palettes down here. And I don't really have anything particular in mind. I'm gonna go with the ColourPop Dream Sequence. This is the Super Shock highlighting palette. It's an older palette, but this is just 4 different highlight shades. And I'm going to pull this out and I'm not going to pull out a regular highlight from my drawer this week, but I haven't used this one in a while. This will be fun. I feel like I said that last time I used this, but I do like this palette and I want to use it before it goes bad. But I'm going to pull out this one. I'm skipping over the primer and foundation drawers and I'm going to pull out a concealer and then a cream contour and a cream highlight from this section, I think. Okay, so concealer first. I'm still using the, should I just use the same concealer and just try to finish it up now that I'm thinking about it? Because I just pulled the stopper out and I'm still using this foundation. All right, I think I'm going to. I'm going to stick with this concealer because it makes sense to me. For cream contour, I'm pulling out the KVD Vegan Beauty. This is the liquid gel contour, and this is from the same line that blush is from, and I really just want to see how they play together. So I'm going to pull that out. No cream blush because obviously the KVD one. And then for cream highlight, I'm going to put my RMS one back. I wish I had like a KVD one, but I don't. I do, however, have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. I have heard so much about the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands lately. Not this one in particular, but I think I want to try this. Okay, Laura Mercier is going to go back. And then I think I'm going to pull in, which one have I not used in a while? I haven't used the Smashbox one in a while. But I also, oh, you know what? This is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Poreless Finish Airbrush Powder in Translucent. This is like a little, I don't know if this is a full size or if it's a mini because it is small. I honestly don't know, but I'm going to pull out this because I feel like I definitely have not used this one in a while. I'm skipping over pressed powder, and I actually did not have anything from the oversized drawer last week, so I will be pulling in something from the oversized drawer this week. The question is just what? I need a powder bronzer, a powder blush, and a powder highlight. No, I don't need a powder highlight. So I need a powder bronzer and a powder blush. So, powder bronzer and a powder blush. Oh, you know what I want to use? I have these Marc Jacobs Air Blushes. This one is in Flesh and Fantasy. And then this one is in Lines and Last Night. Ooh, look at how pretty that is. I'm going to use this one. This is Lines and Last Night. And I haven't used this one yet, whereas Flesh and Fantasy I have. So I'm going to pull out that one. And this will be my blush for this round. I just need a powder bronzer, right? And then I've got the palette for highlights, and then I've got that blush for blush. So all I need is a powder bronzer. I'm using the gel bronzer contour thing. So what do I want from in here? Because I kind of want something like light. What are you? Oh, perfect. This is the Bare Minerals Invisible Bronze. This is in Fair to Light. It's a powder bronzer, but it is a very, very light one. And this is exactly what I want for this round. So I'll be pulling out this bronzer. Okay, do not judge me, but because my new makeup drawer is full, I just have a pile of stuff on the floor over here. But I have these two from ColourPop. I have Lush Life and Garden Variety, and I want to pick one of these to go along with the wild greens. I want something that's like flattering to it, but also different enough. This is Garden Variety, which, okay, that might work, but I feel like Lush Life is gonna be what I end up going for. See, I want these like nice bright colors because so many of the shades in the Urban Decay Wild Greens are kind of muted. This is, yeah, this is what I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and take in the ColourPop Lush Life out of the new pile, new drawer or something, I don't know. All right, eye primer. So last time I took from the tube section, so this time I'm going to go into this section. And I think I'm gonna go with, oh, this is hard. I'm gonna go with the Tarte Lid Lock in Buff. I've used this quite frequently, and it is getting kind of old, so I've been trying to use it a little bit more frequently, but I actually really like this for like a potted eye primer, so I'm going to pull that one out. And then for brows, I used like a pencil and a tinted thing, but I've also been using a pomade for the Panning Punk one, but that pomade is like dried out, and we're going to talk about that during Panning Punk, but I think I'm going to go, this is all clear gels, right? Yeah. I am going to do a clear gel. No. Oh! Alright, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. This is the Billion Dollar Brows Brow Duo Pencil. It's a concealer and a highlight. And then I'm gonna go in with the Milani Weekend Brow. This is an eyebrow tint pen. I like using these types of products just because I feel like it's a little bit easier than using regular concealer sometimes. And it also has like a highlight side, which is nice. And then these, I've been trying to kind of use these pens a little bit more, and this is easy peasy. Okay, so last time I did take the Suva Beauty Liner out of this little section. I am going to put it back in there for right now, but I'm going to stick with pencil liners this time, or like regular liquid liners, because I don't really want to deal with any of that mess right now. So I'm going to do what I always do, pick one from each section and just go from the bottom. Actually though, in this case, I think I'd like a nice like green tone. You guys see all these greens? This one, perfect. And then this one I will pick randomly. I have the Wander Beauty Skyliner Automatic Gel Eyeliner in Jet Black, Urban Decay 24/7 in Mars Beautiful Green shade, and then the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Liner. This always throws me because the packaging is purple, but the liner inside is black, so that works. The rest of those drawers are lips, which we are actually going to talk about in just a second, but first I'm going to swap out my setting spray. I moved the cube, so now it's literally right behind me. And I'm going to reach behind, pull out one at random. Okay, we're gonna use the Laura Geller Spackle Mist Coconut Water Restore. Awesome. I've used this a lot in the past. It's good. Okay, so let's talk about lips really quick. My past few rounds of Shop My Stash have been focused on the lip products in the Apocolips project pan. I will be doing an update post on Instagram. It should be up by the time this video goes up. I'm pretty sure I posted it yesterday. That's my goal, which will be my tomorrow, so hopefully it's up already. But, okay, Apocolips is kaput. Here's the thing. The lip products, I actually still have them because I have to take my picture. But the lip products are just, like, they've been going bad, and that was why I started the project, because I was like, I want to use these up as much as possible before they go bad. I feel accomplished in that. I used these exclusively until they went bad, and now the smell has changed. They're all starting to flake really bad or just not apply right, and I think it's just time. So I didn't want to make like an entire Apocolips update video just to tell you that like, hey, guess what? They've gone bad. But they have. So I'm going to be tossing these out. Like I said, I will have an updated post on Instagram with all of the info there. My handle's down below if you're interested. And the lip primers that I had been talking about in that project where I was wanting to use up my lip primers because I've been focusing on lip liners, those I will still be using. It turns out one of them wasn't even a lip primer. So those I will still be using, but I'll be using them with other lippies. Now the reason that we did not pick out lippies today is because there are more project pans going on. I'm doing my Shop My Samples, and I finally hit the makeup bin. But now I've got a lot of lippies in the makeup bin. Some of them, I've had to toss out one of the mini liquid lipsticks that I had from Lime Crime already because it was not good. But I think the majority of them are still good. So like this is the one I'm using right now. This is like you'll, see the update about this in my next Shop My Samples. But this is the Huda Beauty Matte Lipstick in Interview. And I'm almost done with it. But this is like what I've been wearing exclusively. It's what I'm wearing today since I stopped Apocolips and switched to the Shop My Samples lippies. There's so many lippies. They're everywhere. But I've been wearing this. I like it. And so once I finish that off though, I'm now beginning a cycle of these little travel size, sample size lip products from the Shop My Samples. So I'll be focusing on those. And so I'm not picking anything out. Once I'm done with that, we will go back to picking out a lip item per drawer. And I'm really excited for that because I just want something new. But this works for right now. This is okay. And this is actually going like pretty quick. So I'm hoping that I'll be done with it soon. But then I've got other ones. And actually, I do like the other ones that are in there. So it's fine. But that's why we're not doing the regular drawers right now. But hopefully in the next couple of months, we'll be able to swoop back into those drawers and use some of that stuff. I have so many new lippies too. Anyways, all right, that's my update. Everything's chaotic. Everything is crazy. We're getting it back on track. But I am excited because like I'm making progress. Even though I didn't use these up, I still feel, and these aren't all of them, these are just what I happened to grab. So, but even though I didn't use these up, I still feel good about the fact that I was able to really focus on these in their last remaining time, so that they weren't, completely, like they had all been used, but it makes me feel better knowing that that little end time with these wasn't wasted. That's my chaotic update. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are using. Just we'll just talk. We'll just talk this time. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the bigger subscribe button below me if you'd like to see more of me. I do these videos every 2 weeks. Thank you guys. I will catch y'all next time. Have a great one. Goodbye.